Hi everyone, welcome to Social Studies. We will be continuing to talk about resources today. Last week we talked about natural resources and the importance of natural resources. So a couple examples here were land, rocks, and wood. Natural resources are all resources that we can get from our earth. Today we are going to be talking about capital resources, and then later tomorrow we will be talking about human resources. So be thinking about the differences there. So today for capital resources, if you look at this picture here, there are some examples of what a capital resource is. And hopefully you have already completed your reading for today. So then you know that a capital resource can be considered several different things. It is equipment and money used for business purposes. Capital resources usually last for a long time, and examples of these include tools, trucks, factories, and money spent on gaining these things. Think to yourself for a moment. Do capital resources come from the earth? Can we grow a capital resource? No, a capital resource is a tool that allows us to make other things. So these items are man-made. They do not necessarily come directly from the earth. You can't, for example, pull a tool like a hammer already made and grow it in our earth. That's not how a capital resource works. We have to put these items together, and then also our machines that we use to make these objects are also considered capital resources. So a couple other examples here when we're looking at natural resources, human resources, which we will talk about later tomorrow, and capital resources. So right now I want us just to focus on this section here for capital resources and our natural resources section. Now I really like this chart here because it gives us some examples of real life situations and what type of resource is found there. So let's look at our first one here. We have a pizza parlor. Take a look at the chart here and think about what natural resources come from our pizza parlor. I see tomatoes and olives. Can you think of other natural resources that might come from a pizza parlor? You might have said other items that we grow on our planet, like onions or green peppers, other toppings that can go on that pizza. Those are natural resources that could be found in a pizza parlor. Let's jump over to our capital resources. Capital resources that could be found in a pizza parlor. Remember, these are tools that help us make other things. An oven. What does an oven help us make? It can help us make a pizza in the pizza parlor. So an oven is a tool. And then the restaurant itself, the actual building of the pizza parlor, is considered a capital resource as well. Let's look at our next example. We have a picture of a farm here. Natural resources that are found on a farm. We have chickens and soil. Can you think of other natural resources found on a farm? You might have said different types of plants, vegetables, things that we grow. Those come from our earth and they are natural resources. Looking over to capital resources, we have a tractor and a barn. Those are capital resources that we might find at a farm. Our last example down here is a clothing store. A natural resource that we could find in a clothing store is cotton. Cotton is a plant that you grow, so it does come from our earth, and that is a natural resource. A capital resource example that could be found in a clothing store. Well, we have the actual store itself again, the building that allows us to have the store, and then we also have shelves. So shelves that could be found in a clothing store that holds the clothing that we are trying to sell. You could also consider clothing racks, the cash register that you use to collect the money. Those are all capital resources that could be found in a clothing store. Let's take a look at this example here and see what type of capital resources we can see in these images. So the item that is being made is ice cream. That's our item in this example. Look at the images below. How are these capital resources that help us produce ice cream, that help us get ice cream into our stores? Take a moment to think, and if you need more time, you can pause the video. To be able to have ice cream in our store, it goes through a large, long process in order to get there. And it uses capital resources in order to get into our stores. So a couple of examples here. We might have a large truck. This truck might be used to transport the ice cream from the factory that it is being made in to our grocery store where we're actually able to buy it. That truck would be a capital resource. Another capital resource that I see in this picture is a refrigerator. So our refrigerator is a tool that helps keep our ice cream cool. It helps it so it doesn't melt all over the floor. This allows us to have nice, cold, yummy ice cream. The refrigerator is another capital resource. Now there's some other examples here, but see if you can think of any other capital resources that would be needed to create ice cream that are not listed here. And again, just to quickly review before we go through your assignment, capital resources can be machines, tools, vehicles, and information and money. Tools that are used to make something that is man-made. Let's go take a look at your assignment for today. This is what your assignment will look like for today. It will not have the information that I have written down for my example. You will have to come up with your own. So your first part is to list as many capital resources as you can in this box. You can list your resources that you learned about today and others that you can think of. Try to list at least 5 that I don't have listed here for you. See if you can come up with some others. I know I talked about many in this video, and in your reading you can find some examples as well. So try to come up with at least 5. You can just list these here. As many as you can think of would be great. So my example, I have lawnmower. A lawnmower is a tool that helps us do what? It helps us cut our grass and keep it nice and nice looking. Another example is a fridge. What does a fridge do? Well, it helps us keep our food nice and cool so it doesn't go bad. And a hammer. We can use a hammer for building things and many other projects. Those are just a couple of examples that I came up with here. You are going to list at least 5. Try to do more than 5. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the list that you just created, and you're going to write in at least 2 complete sentences which one you think is the most important and why. So I have some sentence starters here. If you would like to use them, you can. I think the most important capital resource above is, for my example, I'm going to say a refrigerator. I think this is the most important capital resource because it allows us to be able to keep our food fresh and cool so we can eat it over time. That would be my example here. You will come up with your own. Lastly, draw a picture of your capital resource being used. So I just drew a quick picture of a refrigerator here. I tried to use different colors. It's a little challenging with when a refrigerator is just typically 1 or 2 colors. So just do your best on that. This is going to be your assignment for today. So again, this is a 3-part assignment. You're going to list capital resources that you can think of. Tell me which one you think is the most important and why, and then draw a picture that matches that capital resource. Please submit this back into Schoology when you are done. If you have any questions, always reach out. Good luck.